Those are pretty informative top 10 tips there on what you can do. Now, if
not
you
what you can do, what happens, telltale signs of cheating spouses, what you can do.
Well, when you know the telltale signs, now, if you find out, have that kind of lingering suspicion that your spouse is cheating on you, you need to find evidence.
Are you wearing your wedding ring? Or just making sure.
Yes,
I'm
happy. I'm happy. Just thinking, if you have a cheating spouse and you decide to call it quits.
Yeah.
Okay, and you need evidence to kind of support the legal process. What do? Who can you turn to?
Ghostbusters, no.
Who can you turn to? Well, definitely a private investigator. And so we're very fortunate to have one in the house. Rebecca See, who is the Chief Strategy Officer from MVD International. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes.
She's looking very nervous because it's like, don't worry, it's all right. We're on national TV. Now, this is a very interesting topic because over the last few years we've seen advertisements of caught cheating spouses and all that, and now I've seen it across the causeway as well. With your company, MVD International, is this business a booming business? That's my first ever question, especially here in Malaysia.
As long as there's a need for investigation, I think the business is there. And as long as you're able to provide a very serious quality work, then of course it can be lucrative.
It can be lucrative. Yes. Okay. So that was a very diplomatic answer, which is great.
Well, we just seen the telltale signs, Rebecca. So what are the signs that you see, just picking up from what you saw or just your experience?
Basically, I would say that if you're looking at signs, a lot of the signs can also be misleading. What you've just seen down there, it actually merely arouses your suspicion or the spouse's suspicion. Yep. Again, there are people who are very smooth and you'll never be able to spot any signs at all. And you'll never be able to catch them. But being a spouse or the other partner, you will be able to sense something is amiss there. Yep. So when it's only on these situations that I would say that when there's something behind your mind that's nagging and something is not right, I think the best thing is for you to clear your mind if you want to, because as you say, a relationship is based on trust, and where the trust is a bit shaky, then it's best to get your things sorted out.
Your radar's out to speak. Now, before we carry on to the next one, we have actually a caller on the show. Hello?
Oh, yeah? So, no, actually we are opening the phone lines to you guys at home. Now, you can call us and ask questions to Rebecca, our private PI here. The number to call is 03 5569 0349.
There we go. It's on the screen right now. So if you have suspicions or anything, give us a call and we hopefully can help you out with that as well.
So now, back to you, Rebecca. Now, when do people engage your services? I mean, at what point do you kind of come in?
Okay, there's two times, I would say. Twice. There's two situations that I find people look at us. One is when they have mere suspicion and they want to clear their doubts. And the other situation is where they have already got all the proper evidence to indicates that the spouse is actually cheating on them. And now they've taken the matter to the next stage, which is like to go on to pursue the matter in court. And they look at us to gather evidence for them. These are the two situations.
Unfortunately, we've noticed there's a trend, especially with the younger generation. Divorce rates has increased over the last, I suppose, decade or so. That's one question. The other question I'd like to ask is, what's the, in terms of gender, are there more females now cheating than males? Because, the standard traditional thing is men cheating on their wives, blah, 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 blah. But in this, as we've gone to 2012...
Modern society.
Is there, because, women are a lot more liberated now and with what they have and what they do. Is there a trend of women cheating more than men? That's...
if you're going to put it as more than men,
Or rather, a lot more women cheating these days than in the past.
Also, because if you ask me whether my clients are all predominantly female, I would not say, I will not consent to that.
Right.
Because I also have male who come and seek our assistance.
Right.
But not necessarily, what is interesting is not necessarily to check on their spouse, but it's basically to check on their girlfriends or their
Oh, I see. Not married yet and already checking.
Okay,
Wow.
Rebecca, we have a caller. That's Nina from Subang. Hello, good morning, Nina.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
Hi.
What's your question?
I would like to ask, how do I instill my trust back? Because I used to be cheated by my husband last time, but now we are trying to improve it. But I noticed that when there are times when we are okay, but the incident memory comes back, and I'm not okay with my husband again.
Right. So what happened?
He has another woman behind me.
Right.
All right. So how did you find out, and how did you go about looking for that information?
I noticed he changed, and after 3 months, some proof from his phone bill, from his bank statement.
And behavior?
Yeah.
Behavior-wise as well?
Yes, yes.
So you have put this behind you now and kind of coming to to repair the marriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've had that kind of experience in the past before?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Nina. Now we'll move on to Rebecca. Now, is this something that's quite common that you
yes.
that you face?
Yes, we do. You see, what happens here is that when I have clients seeking my assistance, normally I will look at it in a very objective way, and I'll tell them that the evidence that I'm going to give them, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that they actually have to look at divorce as the only way.
Right.
They can actually look at working on the relationship sometimes, and try to understand what actually went wrong in the marriage in the first place. So if that can be sorted out, I truly believe that the relationship too can.
Now, as part of your job is basically gathering information and finding out for your client as to what the other spouse is doing. You've mentioned just now, it's up to them to decide whether they should carry on a relationship or not.
Right.
Do you guys, is there a moral obligation for you guys to give them advice when they do seek it?
Okay, this is where we actually, in MVD International, the team that I head is known as Venus team.
Right.
I would say we are very different from other private investigators.
Right.
I actually give them counseling as well.
Right.
And I'm also, the fact that I also have legal background, it
Yes.
actually, I also give them, in the event they want to pursue the matter in court,
Right.
how they can actually pursue the case
That's
itself.
interesting.
So, and at the same time, on the emotional side, my experience have actually given me the edge to guide them, to help them cope, because it's easier for them to speak to a stranger
Right.
than to someone who they know.
Right. And a lot more women these days are kind of stronger, and they know that, what a marriage is worth. So, if the person is worth fighting for, then obviously you continue on, you try and repair and rebuild.
Correct, that's
so
right.
what is the percentage of, affairs that kind of recover after infidelities?
Normally, our job ends after we have given them the evidence or whatever information they need. Sometimes my clients come back to me, and because we work on, we don't keep in touch with them, but they do sometimes come back and let me know, well, actually, I've actually started a divorce, or actually, I'm trying to work it out. Sometimes what happens is, I also know, I've also had experience where clients come back to me even after a year, asking me to redo the whole thing again.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
And from there, I gather that the person have actually given them a second chance, and probably testing the water to see whether the other spouse is actually still committing adultery. So it's just either that, or it's actually just going down the drains, and this time they're more serious about pursuing the matter. So I can't really comment
It's very
on that.
individual.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
individual.
Very individual.
Case by case.
Well, we are opening our lines up to you if you have a question to our private investigator here on extramarital affairs. Now, Rebecca, what kind of background check or how deep do you go into searching information?
Okay, basically, if you're talking about gathering information on adultery, surveillance will be the best.
Right.
All right, where we discreetly follow them and we take photographs.
Right.
But again, we have our limitations because we are a licensed operator. So we have our limitations where access to vicinity is only where public have access. We do not break in or implant any COVID cameras in private setup.
Tapping into phones?
Yes, we
No.
don't do things like that. So I would say surveillance will be the best evidence to actually show them. And from there, we take it to the next stage as to gather information as to who the other party is.
Right.
And whatever information that they need.
Photographic evidence, obviously.
Photographic
Yeah.
evidences,
Right.
and as well as information on the background of the other person that he or she is committing adultery.
Right.
Right.
Quick question. There's this thing just talked about, this a double agent. Can you just explain what that is, please?
Double agent is where sometimes where you find that the person has actually, the agent, you're talking about a private investigator who has actually gone out and sold your information.
Oh, so that's unethical.
Unethical, that is
Well,
absolutely unethical.
Rebecca,
Yes.
you can search and hunt a spouse from as far as the Antarctica, it's claimed here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you go international?
Well, we actually have our sources all over all parts. Because you see, you have to understand, let's say the partner, the client itself happened to be a Malaysian, and the spouse is actually traveling overseas.
Yeah.
Then naturally we can't just walk into South Africa. Let's say we go to South Africa and let a Malaysian be seen. It will be very obvious.
Oh,
so we have to
yes.
work with people in that country to
Right.
blend in, because surveillance, we have to blend in. We cannot be obvious. It's not like what you see in TV, you know, where they wear the black specs and the trench coats and you know,
That's very old school.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
In those days, everyone wore black
the
specs
very
and
ordinary
trench coats.
people out
Yeah.
there on the street,
Yeah.
you'll never suspect that they're actually spying on you.
Wow. How do you train for your job? I mean, this is like secret intelligence.
Okay, basically it's hands-on job training, of course, but we also have security training in the company. This is one of our department that we do.
Yeah.
So these investigators, they normally rank from police officers, ex-police officers, and military officers, and of course from other walks of life as well.
Yeah.
But again, they will work under a senior person first, because we have to work in a team. It's not that if somebody is actually trailing a person, you cannot trail them alone. It'll be a teamwork.
Okay.
Right, we've got another caller on the set. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Hi. Who's calling and what's your question?
Actually, I found there's a condom in the clothing in my house lah.
Right.
Okay.
When I'm sorting the clothes. Actually, we don't use condom at all. So
Yeah.
I don't know why there's a condom.
Okay.
Have you asked?
Okay.
Have you asked your husband?
Yeah, I did. I asked him.
Right.
And what was his answer?
Actually, he didn't give me an answer for a while. Then after that, after some time, he told me that actually he purposely put the condom there.
That was his answer.
What is your gut feeling? I mean, apart from the condom, do you also find out, you know, phone calls or any other thing that could just probably pronounce that it could be an extramarital affair?
Actually, now he's not using he's using a prepaid line, so I cannot trace.
I see. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right, okay.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, again, we've got things like this where husbands don't explain, spouses don't explain their, you know,
The explanation given by the husband itself is very raises a lot of doubts in me. Because why would you want to plant or trick your wife into what?
Right.
By putting a condom there, what do you intend to imply to her?
Exactly.
That's the objective that you have to ask first
Right,
thing.
right,
Why
right.
would he want to keep that? And his explanation, the fact that if nothing was actually happening, his reply would have been fast and spontaneous.
And accommodating, right?
Exactly.
Trying to make you
he
feel
wouldn't
comfortable.
have taken so much time to think about something. And having realized that he was actually caught, come up with an excuse which to me is like, I wouldn't buy.
So you're saying that there are question marks in this particular scenario?
Yes.
Massive
Now,
question marks,
Yes,
especially
massive
the
question
wife
marks.
saying
Yes,
that
and
they
the mere
don't
fact
usually
that he
wear
has
condoms,
now
yeah.
changed to prepaid as well actually gives more room for suspicion.
because it's not
yes,
traceable.
yes.
Now, Rebecca, when women feel that there are certain question marks, you know, just things that raises doubts in their life with their relationship,
Right.
What do you suggest to them?
Okay, what they need to do is first, I would actually advise them is not to confront the spouse first.
Right.
Because sometimes whatever action that is taking place, whatever the reason that causes the doubt might not mean anything and at the end of the day, but you've already shaken the boat and the other spouse might be hurt by the mere fact that the other
Yeah,
spouse,
it's
suspect
It's a loss of trust.
here,
Yeah.
and they will feel hurt and frustrated, and why are they being unfairly questioned over a matter which doesn't hold water to them, if there is nothing happening. But again, on the other hand, I would suggest that not to question, not to confront, but to start keeping a close tab on the movements, because body language is actually one of the things that gives away.
And what kind of body language? I mean, just if it's a top one.
All right, I would say that secretive movements, meaning to say whenever they receive calls, they move out from the room. Or whatever calls that has come through, you know, if you happen to have access to the phone, just browse through to see if the calls have been deleted, messages have been deleted.
Oh, that's already loss of trust there. I mean, when you're checking other people's phones.
This is true, it is true. But the fact remains that there is already a suspicion in mind.
Yes.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to qualify that suspicion.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have right now. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for being with us on The Breakfast Show and, you know, giving us a lot more advice on what and how and who.
Yes, and if you have any information or any questions that you might want to ask, Rebecca, how can they contact you?
Oh, well, you can contact me at my office number.
Any online kind of presence?
Yes.
There's a number here, 012-357-1522, correct? She can't even remember her own number. But it's 012-357-1522.
Yes.
Or if you want, just email us and we'll give you the number as well. Thank you very much again, Rebecca. Now, we've been saying hello the whole morning. You hadn't got a clue. Here's a sneak peek of what's going to go on after this. Hello, is this the band?
Hello, we're talking to them after this, but check out their music.